Hey everybody, and welcome back to Book Peer. I'm Paul. You know me as your book buddy.
And I'm Alice. I'll be helping Paul break down today's book.
Today we're going to be talking about Atomic Habits by James Clear. Have you heard of this one?
Oh yeah, it's a classic for sure.
It's all about, you know how tiny changes can make a huge difference in your life over time.
Exactly, like those little everyday habits, they can either make or break you.
It's really powerful stuff, and if you're looking to level up your life, this book is seriously the cheat code.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Now, before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Book Peer for more awesome book breakdowns.
And let us know in the comments what habits you're working on. We always love hearing from you guys.
Okay, so Atomic Habits. This book, it kicks off with this super interesting concept, the idea of tiny improvements or the 1% rule.
Yeah, the idea is if you can get just 1% better each day at something.
1%? That doesn't seem like a lot.
Right, it seems small, but over time it adds up big time.
How big are we talking?
Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but as it picks up more and more snow, it gets bigger and bigger.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this.
By the end of the year, if you're improving by just 1% every single day, you'll be 37 times better than when you started.
37 times? That's insane. No way.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing, right? It really makes you rethink those little choices we make every single day.
Totally, because those small decisions, they can really add up.
Exactly. On the flip side, if you get 1% worse each day for a year, you pretty much stay the same.
So it's like those little things we put off for like hitting the snooze button or skipping a workout.
Yep, those seemingly insignificant decisions can have a bigger impact than we realize.
Wow, it's like investing, small, consistent contributions over time, they lead to huge gains.
That's a great analogy.
And speaking of systems, the book really stresses focusing on systems over goals. Why do you think that is?
Well, goals are important. Of course, they give us direction, but they're like a snapshot in time,
So they're like a destination, but not the journey.
Exactly. And it's the systems, the daily habits and routines that actually move us toward those goals.
It's like setting a goal to run a marathon.
Yeah.
But it's your training system, your daily runs, your nutrition plan that actually gets you race ready.
Exactly. It's all about those consistent actions.
Now, to get into the nuts and bolts of building these systems, Clear lays out this framework called the 4 laws of behavior change.
Yeah, they're like the secret formula for creating good habits and breaking bad ones.
So let's break them down, starting with law number 1.
Law number 1 is make it obvious. It's all about making the cue for your habit super clear and noticeable.
So like shining a spotlight on the action you want to take.
Yeah, exactly like having a giant flashing arrow saying, go for a run now.
Okay, I like the visual.
One way to do this is by creating what Clear calls a habit scorecard. It's like taking inventory of all your current habits, both good and bad.
So it's about becoming aware of what you're already doing on autopilot.
Right, because sometimes those sneaky bad habits can hold us back without us even realizing it.
And on the flip side, it can highlight those good habits we can build on.
Exactly. From there, you can use what's called implementation intentions. So instead of just saying, I'll eat healthier, you'd say, I'll have a salad for lunch every day at work.
So it's about being specific and removing any guesswork.
You got it.
What else?
Well, there's also habit stacking, which is where you take a habit you already do without thinking, like brushing your teeth, and you stack a new habit on top of it.
Interesting. So it's like after I brush my teeth, I'll do 5 minutes of meditation.
Exactly. You're basically building a chain reaction of good habits.
That's pretty clever.
I like it. And then there's environment design, which is all about making your surroundings work for you.
So making your environment support your desired habits.
Exactly. Like if you want to read more, keep a book on your bedside table instead of your phone.
So it's all about making the desired behavior the easiest option.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for success.
Okay, so the first law is all about cues and how they shape our actions. What about the second law?
Well, the second law is all about desire. It's called make it attractive, and it's where we make those good habits irresistible.
Okay, so how do we actually make a habit more appealing? Like how do we trick ourselves into wanting to do something we might not naturally gravitate towards?
Well, there are a few ways, but one sneaky trick is something called temptation bundling.
Temptation bundling. That sounds interesting.
It's where you link a habit you want to do with something you need to do.
Oh, so like rewarding yourself for tackling those less enjoyable tasks.
Exactly. So let's say you love watching your favorite show, but you're also trying to get into the habit of meditating. You could bundle those two together.
So I could say, after I meditate for 10 minutes, I can watch an episode.
Exactly. Suddenly meditation becomes a lot more appealing, right?
I love that. It's like turning a chore into something you actually look forward to.
And another strategy is all about your environment and the people you surround yourself with.
So it's like the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Exactly. The book suggests that immersing yourself in a culture where your desired behavior is the norm can make a huge difference.
So if you're trying to become a runner, joining a running club would be a good move.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Being around people who share your goals and values can be super motivating.
It's like finding your tribe.
And finally, we can't forget about the power of our mindset.
Our mindset. How we think about things.
Exactly. How we think about a habit can either make us want to run towards it or run away from it.
It's all about perspective.
Instead of focusing on the effort or the have-tos, try highlighting the benefits and how the habit aligns with the person you want to become.
So instead of thinking, ooh, I have to go to the gym, I could reframe it as, this workout is making me stronger and more energetic.
Exactly. You're changing the narrative.
Okay, so we've covered make it obvious and make it attractive. What's the third law all about?
The third law is make it easy, and it's all about reducing friction and making the habit as effortless as possible.
So we're removing any obstacles that might get in the way.
Exactly. And Clear has this amazing little hack called the 2-minute rule.
The 2-minute rule, what's that?
It's where you break down your habit into a tiny 2-minute action.
Wait, just 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How can such a small action lead to any real change?
It's all about building momentum. You're tricking your brain into taking action.
Okay, I'm listening.
So let's say you want to start a daily writing habit. Instead of aiming for a full-blown chapter, you just commit to writing for 2 minutes each day.
So you're lowering the bar to entry.
Exactly. And once you've started, it's often much easier to keep going.
It's like dipping your toes in the water before taking the plunge.
And once you've mastered that 2-minute version, you can gradually increase the difficulty or duration. Small wins lead to bigger wins.
Makes sense. Are there any other strategies for making habits easier?
Well, environment design plays a big role here, just like with the first law.
Right, making your surroundings work for you.
Exactly. You want to optimize your surroundings to make good habits the path of least resistance.
So like if I wanted to eat healthier, I should keep a bowl of fruit on the counter and hide those tempting snacks in the back of the pantry.
You got it. Make those good choices the easy choices.
And of course, in today's digital age, we can leverage technology to automate those good habits.
Absolutely. Think about setting up automatic savings transfers or using apps that block distracting websites. Make those good habits mindless.
Okay, I'm ready to streamline my life with technology.
Now let's talk about the fourth and final law. Make it satisfying.
This one seems pretty straightforward. We're more likely to repeat habits that make us feel good, right?
Absolutely. We're wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, so if we make our habits rewarding, we're much more likely to stick with them.
So what are some ways to make our habits more satisfying, besides just doing them?
Well, one simple yet effective technique is using a habit tracker.
Habit trackers, I love those.
They're great, right? Visually seeing your progress, those little check marks adding up day after day, it can be really motivating.
It's like a visual reminder of your commitment and consistency.
Clear also emphasizes the importance of never missing a habit twice.
Oh, so if you slip up one day, no big deal.
Yeah.
But get right back on track the next day.
Exactly. Don't let one misstep derail your entire progress.
Consistency is key. Any other tips for making habits more satisfying?
Well, another strategy is to reward yourself immediately after completing the habit.
Oh, so like a little something to reinforce that positive behavior.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be anything big, just a little something to make it enjoyable. For example, after a workout, you could enjoy a delicious smoothie or listen to your favorite podcast.
Those little rewards can definitely make a difference. It's like giving yourself a pat on the back for a job well done.
And lastly, accountability can be a powerful motivator.
Accountability. Having someone to keep you on track.
Exactly. Creating a habit contract with a friend or sharing your goals publicly can help.
It's like having a cheerleader in your corner.
Knowing that someone else is aware of our commitments can help us stay committed.
That's so true. We're more likely to follow through when we have someone to cheer us on or hold us accountable.
Now, beyond the 4 laws, Clear also delves into some more advanced tactics for habit formation.
Okay, like what?
Well, he talks about combining habit stacking with implementation intentions for even more powerful results. And he introduces this fascinating concept called identity-based habits.
Identity-based habits. What are those all about?
It's about shifting your focus from achieving a specific goal to becoming a certain type of person. So instead of saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, you'd say, I am becoming a healthy and fit person.
Interesting. So it's about aligning your actions with your desired identity.
Exactly. The idea is that your habits shape your identity, and your identity, in turn, shapes your habits. It's a powerful feedback loop.
I love that. It's not just about achieving a specific outcome. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves through our habits.
And to really solidify these concepts, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Book Peer.
We have one more part left where we'll break down those bad habits.
You won't want to miss it. All right, so welcome back to Book Peer, everyone. Ready for more Atomic Habits?
Absolutely. Let's jump right back into those 4 laws of behavior change. Where did we leave off?
We left off on the second law, which is all about desire.
Yes. Make it attractive, making those good habits irresistible.
Exactly. It's about tapping into our motivation and making those habits we want to build more appealing.
So how do we actually do that?
Well-
How do we make a habit more attractive, especially if it's something we don't naturally enjoy?
Well, one way is by using something called temptation bundling.
Temptation bundling, what's that?
Basically, it's about linking a habit you want to do with something you need to do.
So like rewarding yourself for doing something you might not enjoy.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
let's say you love watching your favorite show, but you also want to get into the habit of meditating.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
You could bundle those two together and say, after I meditate for 10 minutes, then I can watch an episode of my show.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
So you're making meditation more appealing by associating it with something you enjoy.
Exactly. And another strategy is all about your environment and who you surround yourself with.
So our environment and our social circles can influence our habits.
Absolutely. The book suggests that being part of a culture where your desired behavior is the norm can make a huge difference.
So if you're trying to become a runner, joining a running club would be a good idea.
Exactly. Being around people who share your goals and values can be super motivating.
It's like finding your people, your tribe.
And finally, we can't forget about the power of our mindset.
Our mindset.
What do you mean?
How we think about a habit can make a big difference. It can either make us want to do it or avoid it.
So it's all about reframing those thoughts.
Instead of focusing on the effort or the have-tos, try focusing on the benefits and how this habit aligns with the person you want to become. So instead of, have to go to the gym, it's, this workout is making me stronger and more energetic.
Exactly. You're changing the narrative and making it more positive.
All right, so we've talked about making it obvious and making it attractive. What about the third law? Make it easy.
That's right. It's all about reducing friction and making the habit as effortless as possible.
So we're removing any roadblocks that might get in our way.
Exactly. And one of my favorite strategies here is the 2-minute rule.
The 2-minute rule. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's super simple, but super effective. You basically break down your habit into a tiny 2-minute action.
2 minutes, that seems almost too easy.
I know, right? But it's all about getting started building momentum.
So it's like taking that first step no matter how small.
Exactly. So if you want to start a daily writing habit, instead of trying to write a whole chapter, you just commit to writing for 2 minutes each day.
So you're lowering the bar to entry, making it super achievable.
And once you've started those 2 minutes, you often find yourself wanting to keep going.
It's like that saying, well, I'm already here, might as well.
Exactly. And once you've mastered that 2-minute version, you can gradually increase the difficulty or duration. Small wins lead to bigger wins.
I love that philosophy. All right, so we've talked about making it obvious, making it attractive, making it easy. What's the final law?
The fourth law is all about satisfaction. It's called make it satisfying.
This one seems pretty straightforward. We're more likely to do things that make us feel good, right?
Exactly. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So if we can make our habits rewarding, we're much more likely to stick with them.
So how do we make our habits more satisfying?
Well, one way is by using a habit tracker.
I love habit trackers.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying to see those little check marks add up.
They're great for visual motivation, and it's a reminder of your commitment and consistency.
What else?
Well, another important tip is to never miss a habit twice.
So if you have a slip up, don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track the next day.
Don't let one missed day derail your entire progress.
Consistency is key. What about rewards?
Rewarding yourself is a great way to reinforce positive behavior.
So if I complete my workout, I could reward myself with a smoothie or listen to my favorite podcast.
Exactly. Those little rewards can make a big difference.
It's like a little pat on the back for a job well done.
And lastly, let's not forget about accountability.
Having someone to keep you on track.
Creating a habit contract with a friend or sharing your goals publicly can help.
So it's like having a support system or a cheerleader in your corner.
Knowing that someone else is aware of our commitments can help us stay motivated and on track.
That's a great point. Now, beyond the 4 laws, does Clear offer any other insights into habit formation?
He does. He talks about combining different techniques like habit stacking with implementation intentions for even more powerful results. And he introduces this really cool concept called identity-based habits.
Identity-based habits. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
It's about shifting your focus from just achieving a goal to becoming a certain type of person. So instead of saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, you'd say, I am becoming a healthy and fit person.
So it's about aligning your actions with your desired identity.
Exactly. The idea is that your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habits. It creates this powerful feedback loop.
Wow, that's really powerful stuff. So it's not just about achieving a specific outcome, it's about becoming the best version of ourselves through our habits.
Exactly. And to really dive deeper into these concepts and how to break those bad habits, make sure you stick around for part 3.
You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to Book Peer, everyone. It's time for the final part of our deep dive into atomic habits.
Today we're tackling the flip side of habit formation, breaking those bad habits.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 laws of behavior change for building good habits. How do we use those same laws to break bad ones?
Well, it's all about inverting those laws and using them to our advantage.
Inverted laws. That sounds interesting.
The first inverted law is make it invisible. It's all about reducing our exposure to the cues that trigger those unwanted habits.
So if late night snacking is my weakness, I should hide those tempting treats out of sight.
Exactly, out of sight, out of mind. If those chips aren't staring you in the face, you're less likely to reach for them.
Okay, makes sense. Remove the temptation, remove the bad habit.
Yeah.
What about the second inverted law?
The second inverted law is make it unattractive. It's about highlighting the downsides of those bad habits, making them seem less appealing.
So if I'm trying to quit smoking, I should focus on the health risks and how it's damaging my body.
Exactly. Instead of seeing it as cool or rebellious, you remind yourself of those negative consequences.
I guess nobody wants yellow teeth and wrinkles.
Not really. Okay, moving on to the third inverted law.
What's number 3?
Make it difficult. This is all about increasing the friction, making those bad habits harder to indulge in.
So if I'm trying to reduce my screen time, I should make it harder to access those devices.
Exactly. You could unplug your TV after each use or put your phone in a drawer while you're working.
So the more effort it takes to engage in the bad habit, the less likely I am to do it.
That's the idea. And finally, the fourth inverted law is make it unsatisfying.
So we're making those bad habits less rewarding.
Exactly. Remember how we talked about rewarding ourselves for good habits? Well, now we're flipping that. We want to associate those bad habits with negative consequences.
So if I slip up and eat a bag of chips, I could have a predetermined consequence, like donating to a charity I don't support.
That's a great example. Or you could track your successes in avoiding the bad habit. Seeing a broken streak can be pretty motivating to get back on track.
It's like reverse psychology for our habits.
Exactly. So those are the 4 laws of behavior change, flipped on their head to help us break those bad habits.
This has been such an insightful look into atomic habits. It's amazing how these simple strategies can make such a big difference.
It's not about willpower, it's about having a system in place.
And remember, those small changes, they really do add up over time.
Whether you're trying to build good habits or break bad ones, those little 1% improvements can lead to significant results.
So what's one small habit you're going to start working on today?
Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Book Peer for more awesome book breakdowns.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, happy reading, everyone.